It's Friday night and you're on a date, but it's not one of those boring dates that you go to some restaurant, buy some overpriced drinks, and sit there waiting to get drunk so you can have a good time and break the awkwardness. No, instead, on this first date with this lady, you just stop by one of your favorite burger joints. You've got a bag full of burgers, another bag full of fries, another one full of all kinds of random stuff like some tater tots, some onion rings, and you guys are walking back right now to your place. You guys plan to go back, smoke some weed, veg out on this food, binge watch some Netflix and chill, and who knows, let the night take you wherever else you want it to go. But all of a sudden someone jumps you. They get you from the back, you don't see them coming, and you're down on the ground now. Next thing you know, they take all that food that you just got, every single bag, the burgers, the fries, the onion rings, and they go running off. But plot twist, they take your girl too. So now you're laying there on the wet ground, it's raining, let's make it worse, right? They took all your food, you got no girl, and now you're all alone for the night. All because you don't have a big ass meat shield back. I'll be honest, this person wouldn't have messed with you if you had a big enough back. A big muscular back is a symbol for strength and power. It's the one muscle that when you're wearing a t-shirt, someone can tell you lift and you are strong without saying a thing. It commands respect from others because it's literally half of your upper body. If I were to turn around, it's everything from here all the way up. To have a big, strong back, that is impressive, and it says a lot about you. And it looks just like the shields that knights used to use back in the day to block all kinds of things that got thrown their way, like arrows and swords. So it's time to talk about specialization so I can help you build a program to build you a big-ass meat shield back, so then you can be big enough to bully Elon Musk into building you your own personal time machine so you can go back in time, beat the crap out of this guy who jumped you, go back to your place with this girl and have a great night. Before we dive in deep here and get you a massive back, I wanna also let you know that all of this is Lifetime Natty approved. I've been working out for 13 years, never touched a single performance enhancing drug in my life, and I don't plan on it. So you can take these tips and know that they will work for you. I can't believe I'm erasing all this. Just the S here alone took me forever. So why specialize? What's even the point of it in the first place? I know a lot of people are probably sitting there thinking to themselves, well, I don't want to just focus on my back. I also want to bring up my chest, my biceps, my quads could use some work. Oh, my shoulders could use some work. If that's the case and you feel like everything's lagging, then you just train everything altogether about the same. But when you actually have the honest conversation with yourself and identify a muscle that is falling behind compared to the rest, that is when you specialize. Because if you don't do that and you train this muscle that's lagging, just like all the other muscles, it's never going to catch up. It's always going to be behind. It's kind of like in Mario Kart, how let's say there's 4 people playing. There's 3 that are in first, second, third. They're cruising, they're doing great, but then there's one person who just sucks. They're in 12th. If you give them all the same prize, let's say a mushroom, well, that's not gonna help that person in 12th at all. They need a bullet bill. They need something that's actually gonna bring them the distance so they can catch up to the rest. And so we need to favor them. We need to give them something that the people in first, second, and third can't get. That's the specialization approach. That's why when you decide to specialize, you want one muscle to grow more than the rest of the muscles. And a benefit to this is by stepping off the gas a little bit on the rest of the muscles and putting more attention towards this one muscle that's falling behind, you're able to utilize more resources to grow. It's kind of like how in high school, we take so many classes at once and we do so many things. We're taking Spanish, math, English, history, we're playing a sport, we're trying to socialize, get good at talking to girls, working a part-time job. You're gonna suck at everything you do because you're balancing so many things. Versus when you go to college, you specialize in something. That's when someone says, I wanna become a doctor, I wanna become a lawyer. Okay, well now I'm gonna study heavy coursework in that one material. And so that person who studies to be a lawyer in college is gonna be way smarter than someone who maybe takes a class on being a lawyer or 2 hours of YouTube videos on being a lawyer in high school. These days, YouTube videos seem to be way more helpful than any teacher in college. It's time to build your program now. And the best place to start is to first talk about frequency. When training a muscle, it's important to hit it at least 2 times a week. However, if you want to make that muscle grow more than other ones, you might want to give it the extra nudge and hit it 3 times a week. So this part comes up to preference. I'm going to be giving you a sample back training routine after I go through all the fundamentals here, and that one I'll actually show you what a 3 time a week program could look like. But if that's not your thing, 2 times a week is just fine. Anything is better than 1 time a week. Don't make that mistake I did where when I first started working out, I thought you had to hit the muscle 1 time a week. All these bodybuilders were preaching how you just gotta beat it down to the ground and then let it recover for the whole week, but that's not as optimal. Because if you do this workout that's, let's say, 6 exercises, After you finish the first 2 or 3, if you really gave them your all, then the rest of the exercises there, you're gonna be half-assing. You're gonna be half-assing them either by not doing as many reps as you could, you're not gonna be doing as much weight as you could, or just the form's gonna be bad. And it's not your fault for half-assing, it's the program's fault because you're exhausted, you're tired, you already gave those first 3 exercises your all. And so if you were to cut that workout in half and move that second half over to a later date in the week, you'd come to that workout more fresh, more energized, and you'd be able to do more. So that's why 2 to 3 times a week is way better, because you're going to get a greater stimulus from that fresh, hard work. So that's that. Now, exercises. We want to be honest with ourselves and think about what part of our back needs more work, if we need to focus on that versus another, or we can just focus on overall back growth. So there's 2 sections I like to break the back up into. People like to get really crazy. I'm not going to be Athlean-X here and draw a back diagram and section out each muscle. You don't need to know that if you're just someone who works a 9 to 5 and you're a busy person, you want to get in better shape and look like the top percent without having to spend hours listening to videos and reading all kinds of scientific textbooks. So we've got thickness for the back, and that is any type of horizontal pull, or otherwise known as rows. And then we have the width of the back, how wide your back is. That's going to be any type of vertical pull. So usually pulling down. So we've got lat pull downs, we've got pull-ups. We even have lat prayers, as some people call them, the straight arm pull downs like this with the cable. Or you can even, when you're laying on a bench and you hold a dumbbell, your back's on the bench, and you do a pull over, and then you pull the dumbbell back, stretching out your lats. That's all lat focused. Now, it's not like I am just hitting the lats. I'm still hitting some parts of my middle and upper back. And so it's not strictly lats, but it's focusing more on that width. So those are for the width. And then horizontal, like I said, is any type of row. So you've got your chest supported rows, your bent over rows, really anything that says row. Keep in mind, elbow positioning really matters here. When you're doing a row or a pull down, based on where your elbows are, it's going to hit different muscles of the back. So for example, on a row, if I do a wide row, that is going to hit more of my upper back, because see how those muscles are the ones that are contracting and then separating? Versus if I hit a close row, so my elbows are closer to the body, the lats wrap around the rib cage. And so you are actually hitting, with a close row, you're hitting a little bit more lat in that row. But that's getting really into the weeds. Basically, horizontal rows are thickness, vertical pulls are width. Think of it that way. And so that's what I want you to think about when you're doing your exercise selection. You're picking which ones you want to do. So that's more important if you're trying to isolate either thickness or width, but if you're just trying to get both, don't worry too much about it. Just have an even split of rows and pull downs. Next, we have set numbers. So you don't want to start crazy here. It's better to start off small and build your way up. So I suggest starting with anywhere between 2 to 6 sets per workout. You don't want to start crazy here, because if you burn yourself out right away, how are you supposed to progress? I'd rather you get better over time than just burning out right away. It's kind of like when you first start running, you don't want to just run, 26 miles as a marathon. You don't want to just do that. You're going to get hurt and you're going to hate it. Start off just running a mile, and maybe 2 miles, then 3, build your way up. And a good gauge here to decide whether you should go up or not is, let's say you did workout 1, right? Workout 1, and you finish it, and then now it's time for workout 2. Maybe it's Wednesday or Thursday, and this was on Monday. How does your back feel? If your back is not sore, if you aren't tired, if you go to do this second workout and you have plenty of strength, then I don't see a reason why not to increase the sets on that next first workout. Use that first week as a gauge to kind of see how you're feeling. So you're changing things in real time, right? So, okay, I felt really good on this second workout. Well, we can increase the sets maybe by one on each exercise. Take it slow. Don't say, oh, I'm going to do 2 sets each. No, increase it by a set. And then see how you feel that week. And let's say you get to week 2 and you go, okay, I feel a little soreness, or I'm having a tough time going up in weight or reps. I'm having a tough time improving. Well, then keep the weight, keep the sets the same. Don't change them. That's basically the approach you want to take, is just see how your recovery is going in real time and then make note on how you want to adjust next week to be better. So that's different for everyone. Lastly, we have loading and reps. So for loading and reps, I'm going to jump right down to the third bullet here for a second. The best rep range to build your muscle in, which sucks because it's so vague, is the 5 to 30 rep range. That's 25 different options. What do I pick for my reps? My best suggestion, we're now gonna go back here, is you wanna pick a rep range that feels really good, but also at the same time you are failing because of the muscle that you are targeting. And what I mean is, so for example, let's say you're someone who's trying to build your legs and you wanna do some barbell back squats. So you go to build this program for yourself, for your legs, and you go, okay, I'm gonna do barbell back squats. Well, Sandro said anywhere between 5 to 30 reps. I'm gonna do 20 reps. 20 reps sounds good. It sounds gritty. It's gonna be grueling. Well, then you go to do that and you think it's going well. You're failing, you're sweating, you're getting tired, you're sore. But the thing is, if you're doing barbell back squats for 20 reps, you're most likely failing not because of the muscle. It's burning, sure, 20 reps sucks, but you are stopping and racking that weight because of one of 2 factors. Your cardio ability. So think about it. If you do 20 reps on squats, you're gonna be out of breath. I know I'm gonna be out of breath. My heart's gonna be racing. I'm gonna be just like choking on air. And then the second one is that your stabilizers are gonna become weak before your legs are. Your lower back's gonna be stabilizing, your core is gonna be stabilizing, maybe your glutes. All these other muscles are going to say, hey, listen, we're exhausted from trying to keep this bar straight on your back. We need you to rack it. I remember when I was younger and I was doing this like triple drop set on these T-bar rows, I felt this crazy lower back pump. It felt awesome, but I was failing and stopping because it was just burning so much. Not even because my upper back was tired. I could have kept rowing until the cows came home. So that's what I mean by you fail because of, that's a BC, by the way, not a BE. B of muscle, because of muscle. You want to fail because of the muscle. So when you pick the rep range, anything that's a compound that requires stabilizers, you most likely don't want to exceed the 12 rep range. So play around with them. And then if it's more of an isolated exercise, like it's a machine or it's something that doesn't require a ton of stabilizers, well, then you can do something in the higher rep range if you want. But you can also try the lower rep range. I know some people who do the lat pull downs and they feel a crazy connection with their lats doing just like 6 or 7 reps. Again, that's where it comes into make sure you're failing because the muscle is actually failing, and make sure it feels good. You can use your preference here too. And then what I suggest is start heavy. Doing these exercises that are really heavy, that's gonna burn you out the most. And so if you save that till the end, you're gonna be just fried and you're not gonna give it your all. Start the workout with the heavier rep ranges, so the stuff that's like 5 to 10 reps, and then as you go through the workout, work up to the higher rep ranges. So your last exercise should be the highest rep range exercise that you have programmed. Now at this point, you might have the perfect routine written down on paper, and you're thinking about clicking off this video and getting started, because I'd be anxious too to get payback at that guy who mugged me in the middle of the streets, took my girl, took my food. But before you do that, we need to talk about progressing, because you could follow this workout routine, but if you don't have a plan in place to progress week over week, your muscles aren't going to be given a reason to grow, get bigger and stronger. So there's a few different ways we can do that. And the first one is weight. You can try increasing the weight each week. So if you do rows at 100 pounds for 10 reps, if you come in week 1 and do that, and then week 2, you want to progress. So you do 105 pounds for 10 reps, but you want to make sure that your form is the same. If you're forcing a weight that you can't handle, and so week 2, you said, well, I have to progress. So you throw on an extra 5 pounds and you're jerking that weight up using all kinds of momentum, you're actually creating less of a stimulus than you had here, because your form is going down and you're using the muscle less and you're using more momentum. Shitty reps get you shitty results. Remember that. So let's assume that you have good form, then you can keep progressing. Maybe week 3, right? add another 5, right? So now you're at 110 for 10 reps and so forth. Adding the weight is going to force your body to grow and adapt. The next method, let's say you can't add any more weight. Let's say that's not going to work for you. It's going to be a little too heavy and you're going to be honest and say, yeah, I'm going to jerk the weight around. It's not going to be good. You can go up in reps. So if you came in and you did the 100 pounds on rows times 10 reps on week 1, then you come in week 2 and you say, okay, I can't do the weight. It's a little too heavy. Try going up by a rep, 11 reps. As long as the form is good, awesome. Now you're improving. Week 3, yep, I think I can increase the reps again. All right, cool. 12 reps, you're still improving. Sets, we want to use sparingly because you don't want to take advantage of that. And then next thing you know, you're doing 10 sets, each exercise, each workout. That's going to be way too much. Use that one sparingly as like a backup plan. This is high level progressing. I'm going to lightly touch right now on the progression scheming that I use because this isn't a linear process. You're eventually going to hit a wall and say, well, I can't go up in reps. I can't go up in weight. What do I do? And the thing is, if you're training really hard each week, that is going to be really difficult to progress on very fast. So what I like to use is reps in reserve. This is strategically managing how hard we are training throughout a program so we can force ourselves to constantly get better. What I suggest is on week 1 of a program, you start at 3 reps in reserve. What that means is pretend you're a hitman. Always leave 3 bullets left. That's what it means. So if you go to do your seated row, if 10 reps is where you'd fail at 100 pounds, do 7 reps. Don't touch those 3 bullets. That would look like 7 reps by 100 instead of 10. It's going to feel a little bit easier. You're not going to be going completely to failure. But what we know through research is that as long as you are 4 reps shy of failure, you're creating enough of a stimulus to grow. And so we're doing 3 reps shy of failure. So it's a greater stimulus. The closer you get to failure, if failure is over here, this is just easy, it's resting, really, that's what it is. Then the closer you get, so this is right here, the greater the stimulus. So this is failure. Your stimulus is going to be huge here. Here, it's not going to be as huge as here, but it's still going to be pretty big. I'm not trying to make things confusing, but we start at 3 reps in reserve. So leave 3 reps in the tank on all the exercises you do. Week 2, we want to progress using this. So you do 2 reps in reserve. If we keep the weight constant and you want to go up by reps, that would look like this, 8 times 100. Week 3, you go 1 rep in reserve. So now as you're lifting, you know you only could do 1 more rep, but you're going to stop and leave that 1 bullet in the chamber. Week 4, we go to failure, and that looks like 10. And see, that's the 10 that I said. If 10 was you failing, there it is. And then once you fail that week that you just go all out, balls to the wall, finish that, you deload for a week, take it easy, and then you come back and you restart. But when you restart, you say, okay, I started that program at 7 reps. I should have, by theory, gotten stronger. So now you're going to start the new program, week 1, at 8 reps. And then by theory, you should be able to do 9, 10, 11, constantly building on top of that until you can't. When you reach that, then maybe it's time to change the exercise. You don't need to worry too much about that if it doesn't make sense. Long story short, you can go up in weight, you can go up in reps, and you can go up in sets. Try to find a way to go up each week. And when you can't, typically around week 4, you take a little deload, take the week, go a little bit easier, and then come back swinging again. Now, if you made it this far, your reward is this sample plan. You don't have to put any thought into it. You can copy and paste this workout, try it out for yourself, or you can use it as a template that you want to build off of. So Monday, we've got is wide pull-ups, 2 sets, 5 to 10 reps. That's going to be working on the width of our back. Then to break things up, we've got some T-bar rows. And when I say T-bar, I should have said chest supported, the one where there's that pad and you're leaning over it and you're rowing. It looks like there's a barbell that's split between your legs and you're rowing it up. So chest supported T-bar row, 2 sets, 8 to 10 reps. That's now working on the thickness of the back and it's nice and wide. And then we have lat prayers, 2 by 10 to 15. So working on the lats again, coming back to them, but we're hitting them in a different angle. So this workout is more lat focused. We've got 2 lat moves and then 1 thickness move. And as you can see, we start at the heavy reps. And then we work our way down into the lighter reps, 8 to 10, 10 to 15. Next, we have Wednesday. So they had a day of rest. Now we're coming back, we're hitting them again. We're gonna start with landmine rows. This is the one where there isn't the chest supporting you. Instead, it's still that barbell splitting your legs, but now you're actually bent. I personally prefer this one over a barbell row because of the angle of the weight. It puts a little bit more of a stretch on your back than just a barbell row where it just goes straight up and down. This one's angled, so it stretches out your lats more. So 2 by 10 to 15. Then we have a neutral grip lat pull down. So we're working on the lats, 2 by 10 to 15. And then cable row, 2 by 10 to 20. And so this can be the one where you're sitting down at the cables and you're just rowing. So if you notice, 2 thickness moves now and 1 lat move. We are perfectly balanced when we're picking the exercises. And if you notice, the reps are higher here because we just did this Monday and it's Wednesday. It's not a ton of days in between. So you want to do the higher reps because it's less actual mechanical damage to the muscle. And so this will be received better if you're still trying to recover a little bit, but you don't want to be really sore going into this workout. And then because you're accumulating a ton of fatigue, Friday, we're only going to be doing 1 exercise, and that's machine rows. So take it easy, 2 sets, 10 to 20 reps, and that'll treat you just fine. Then as you go through the week, evaluate how you feel going into each workout. Maybe you can add a set and you can change it to 3 sets, or maybe you're going up in your reps, different ways to improve and force yourself to get better. Now that you have the routine, we need to answer the question of how long do we do this for? When are we going to get that massive back? That question I'm not entirely sure about, but what I can tell you is first I want to do this for at least a training block. If I want to sound like a scientific asshole, 3 mesocycles, or otherwise known as 15 weeks. That's 4 weeks on, working hard, and then 1 week deloading. And then you just times that by 3, 15 weeks. So after that, what do we do next? Well, you have a few choices. You can go back to a normal block and train everything equal, or you can train a new specialized muscle. Maybe you want to bring up your chest now. You can do that, or do the same thing you've been doing. Keep focusing on the back. Maybe it hasn't improved enough, and so in that case, keep specializing in it. You can keep doing that till the cows come home. I wouldn't worry too much about that. And don't worry too much about these muscles because you're still hitting them. You're hitting them enough that they're gonna stay the same, if not grow at a very slow rate. They're not gonna shrink on you at all. And if you feel like something else is shrinking on you, well, focus on that or go back to hitting everything else and your back will be bigger than it was before. You now have all the information you need to build yourself a massive back that will command respect from everyone. No one will dare fuck with you again. So forget about the past. Forget about that guy who did you wrong and the girl who left you and the food you lost. You now can go back to that favorite food joint of yours and go up to the cashier and command that they give you free food because of how massive your back is. They're gonna say, oh my God, dude, how'd you get a big back like that? And you're gonna go, oh man, it's this video by Sandro. He's a really cool guy. Here, I'll give you his YouTube. And then next thing you know, he won't only be giving you free food, but he'll be giving me free food too because you'll hook a brother up like that. Hopefully it's not some shit place though, like Burger King. The only good thing they have are those fries that are made out of chicken, the chicken fries, the really long fries, but chicken, I don't know. They taste kind of fake, like this seasoned cardboard, but at the same time, it's kind of good. It's been so long, I don't even know, but that's the only thing worth noting at BK. So hopefully you have better taste than that. Now, if you found this video helpful, there's a few resources I thought might help you out. First one is my lifestyle YouTube. I have a separate YouTube that I linked down below that will give you more insight into my training. I walk you through my workouts. They're raw, uncut, and I talk all about mindset, diet, and share my life with you. And so if that's something you're interested in, if you want to see how I train, what my form looks like, all of it is there. If you found this video to be really long and it's something that you can't always listen to, I get it. We're busy people. But if you want to still learn something and just digest it in a much quicker way, I have a newsletter. And on here, I like to promise you that it's something you can read on the toilet. Take you just 1 to 2 minutes. And it's information that'll actually help you, not just clutter your inbox. And lastly, if you still feel like that you could use some help with your workout program, I offer affordable one-on-one coaching. And I want to put an emphasis on the affordable piece. I'm not trying to rip you off like all those other Instagram scammers online. So if that's something you're interested in, I've got a link in the description there where you can book a call with me and we can talk more about it to see if it's a good fit for the both of us. But in the meantime, I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to learn more about growing your chest, I'm linking the video right here so you can watch that. But in the meantime, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.